get a few of these in here, get these set up. It's a little after midnight on the East Coast. I just got these new little microphones too. I love these things. Trying to figure it out though. These are pretty slick. UFC Vegas 108 in the books. Honestly, I thought it was a good night of fights. I know I'm always a big defender on the Apex cards, but especially tonight, I truly get it now. These fighters, they really should be in arenas full of people. I don't know if the UFC is going to do away with that anytime soon, because we did have a good night of fights overall. I felt that there was a lot of action overall, and people were banging. Yeah, lacked star power, whatever. Not a big deal. But if you take a fight like this, and like I said, I like the Apex, but I get it now. Um, I was saying these Apex cards when they put on good fights like that, it reminds me of ECW. ECW. Small bingo hall feel. But these dudes are crushing it just like they did in ECW. Think of Rob Van Dam, Jeremy Lin. Now, if you take a fight like this or a fight night like this, and you have it in an area where it's a full arena and you have loaded fans, you I mean you're going to hit the same amount of people globally in the television audience. However, you're now introducing these fighters to that market that are going there to see their local heroes that you're probably putting on the card. So I really do think that it's time. I really wonder with the Apex what that has to do with um, their deal with ESPN or anything like that. Probably not. Probably not. It does make it more convenient to have more shows in the year. Although they do say they want to go more global. Uh, Maybe that'll be the change. But let's get to the fights. We'll start at the top. Um, Tatsuro Taira submits Young Park in the second round. Um, his grappling was just way too much. Even his setups. I don't want to say Park was completely outclassed, but he was definitely that was a big level up, and he just he caught a lesson tonight. Now down in the co-main event, Mateusz Rebecki versus Chris Duncan. I was at American Top Team a couple weeks ago. I did see these guys there training, but I don't pay attention to that. I just saw them there. Now this happened multiple times with fighters at American Top Team, as you know. As you all seen before, they make kind of a deal of it. Hey, what's going on? How are you? Um, so what was I saying here? Whenever this happens, American Top Team does a very good job of separating the fighters, scheduling different training sessions, making sure that there's privacy, all of that. Um, so when this happens, fighters who have their space, there might be a couple of sessions where they're in. Like I could imagine at the wrestling practice on Mondays. I'm sure that they probably cross paths. It's a pretty popular class. I'm here to talk about your name. My name Ryan Quinn. You just pooped your pants. We've all been there, my man. Don't worry. Um, but they do get their separate space. Like I remember there was times where I was training with I trained with Will Brooks when he fought Rashid Magomedov, PFL the PFL playoffs. Um, I believe both guys were in the wrestling practices. Might have changed, but we sparred on separate times. They were away from each other, and no harm, no foul. We do realize what we got going on. At the end of the day, it is what we do, and we got to respect that. Uh, I don't remember any time there was any bad blood after the fact, but regardless, both guys put on a war. Was fight of the night. Uh, Raised both their stocks. Chris Duncan's a stud. Looking forward to what they got coming on next. Both of them. Always love when my alma mater is stepping up. Yeah, alma mater. Oh no, I'm sorry. Elvis Brenner versus Esteban Ribovich was the fight of the night. Those dudes were going haymaker. Now I felt like Esteban just fought a little bit of a cleaner fight. I felt he was a little more disciplined than Brenner. Uh, I think that's what he was just like Elvis was just on the end of everything. That's what it came. Who's this? Hello, dear. You saying what Dima doing? Dean is off tonight. I don't even think he's at the UFC tonight. But yeah, like Ribovich was just landing on all the combinations. That was a bad slip by Briner in the first with that spinning back fist. High risk, low reward, and he got caught up. Now, this was one fight that I was really looking forward to talking about here. Yeah, bunch of great fights for sure. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Yeah, I always love these fight night cards. You know what the thing is why I like these fight night cards? Someone who is always on the mid card, lower card, especially when you get people that are at the level that they're trying to raise their stock, trying to raise their game. You got guys on these cards that are just throwing it, guys and girls, I'm sorry, that are just putting it all out there, and they're trying to really get noticed, so they're going to go out and they're going to bang. I don't want to say that they're less disciplined, but the margin for error is a little greater because they are on the lower end of the roster. These dudes fought their freaking hearts out. You said it. So, as far as the actual fights are concerned, usually the quality of fights end up being better on the fight nights. That's how I feel. Um, and if you go back and look, I'm sure you could agree. So, when you're going to play Baldy's Basics? I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. Carl Rosa was dominant. It looked like would be. Yeah, we're going to get that in a minute. So, we'll say Carol. We'll talk about the Carl Rosa fight and Nora Cornell right now. So, where's Dean? I just discovered Dean. Dean's the man. Dean is not here tonight. Check out our podcast on Tuesday. Well, we film on Tuesday nights. We release Wednesday mornings. Dean will be back. He's going to post shorts throughout the week as well. Definitely check that out. So, one thing that fight made me think of with Nora. So, when she was doing her head movement, she like I said, tweeted earlier. She should be moving her head. She started to, but you got to move your hands with your head. Like there's a string from your cheekbones to your fist. And it's very common when you start moving your head, and if she's got a shadow box a little more, she's got it. She does this like she's dancing. You don't do that, then you're leaving your head exposed. See, you got to move your hands with your head. Move your hands with your head. I used to always say to the fighters, when your feet stop moving, your head starts moving, and vice versa. So that's something she got to figure out. Now, in the second round, she got taken down. She grabbed the Kimura. So, and that was a really nice blast elbow by Rosa. Loved it. So you hear people say a lot, and usually this happens, they're talking about a top position, position before submission. Now, what does the analyst crew, the coaches, what do they mean by that? So, usually you hear this from someone who's in the top who slips up. Something that comes to mind is Frank Mir and Nogueira's second fight, where Nogueira, I think he went for like a guillotine or something real sloppy, ended up on bottom, and ended up getting Kimura, broke his arm. Don't risk a submission that will put you on bottom, especially in mixed martial arts where there's ground and pound. Triangles come to mind, arm bars come to mind, where you're going to end up on bottom, and according to the judges, you could lose the round, you get ground and pound, whatever the case may be. This one was unique. So she got taken down, Cornell, and she went for the she went for a Kimura. When she went for the Kimura, she latched onto it, and she was right in keeping it. However, she could have went to butterfly guard. She could have used that Kimura to create space and go to butterfly guard, get to a safer position and pummel inside, try to work her way up. Or I'm pretty sure they said she was a black belt in jiu-jitsu. She could use her grappling in that aspect. She stuck with the Kimura. She's remained committed, probably trying to go for a power Kimura. Maybe she just wasn't comfortable and just wanted to catch her breath there. But ultimately, Carol got the side control and then even a mount and almost arm triangle there. So position before submission. Put yourself in good position, especially in MMA, to avoid getting pounded. So let's go down. It was a great fight, though. Neil Magny, happy for him. Love seeing him do his thing. That was kind of back and forth for a little bit until Neil, body lock, takedown, bam, did it. She fights with aggression. She does, yeah. Um, there was a lot of aggression in that fight. Yes, I was a fighter too. I fought for Bellator 9 times, and trained at American Top Team for 10 years, and I coached the amateurs over there. So Neil Magny, tied with Jim Miller for most wins in the UFC. Awesome. I love seeing the guys being durable. He's not going to fight for a title anytime soon, but it was cool to see that. Now, yeah, we're going to stop right here. Here's the last part. Danny Silva and Kevin Villawejos. Now, I opening card open with a banger. That was awesome. Um, uh, was They really set the tone. You'll see guys. It's funny if these two were on a pay per view, they would be on the prelims, but on the prelim main event because you want people like that, those 50-50 people who are about to spend the $80 but they're not sure. You want to give them an edge with seeing a banger like that. So that's why I think they were on the lower end of a lackluster star lack, whatever the fuck I'm looking for. What's the word I'm looking for? Lack of star power card. Sorry, it's late over here. Um, they wanted to set the tempo and they did that. But overall, I thought it was a great night of fights. Looking forward to the next couple weeks. Let's see some comments here. I live in Naples, Florida, on the other coast, but there's so many good MMA gyms over there. Yeah, there is. Where you have American Top Team, and then you have it just went dark, and then you have Killcliff, all within 8 miles of each other. So, but that's all I got. Hope you guys enjoyed the fights. Please tune into our podcast on Wednesdays, and please like, subscribe, and share if you haven't already. Peace.